Is water wet?
Is water wet? Yes. If you put water on something, it is wet. So water is the wet. Does that make sense? What's the definition of wet? Something that's got water in it. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it.
Old Man Volk, washed, slowing down, past his prime, KO'd brutally, twice. That's the story, right? Because once you hit 35 and you're fighting at featherweight or below, your chances are horrible. Since the UFC began, title challengers over 35 years old, fighting at welterweight and under, have gone 2-28. Your loss is practically set in stone. So when Volkanovski walked out at UFC 314 with 2 KOs still ringing in his head, we practically knew this would be another highlight reel where he would end up on the ground. All the signs said this was the end. But somehow, someway, Volk flipped the script. What actually happened that night changes everything you know about old Volk. But how did we even get here? How did a 5'6", stocky kid from Shell Harbor, built like a fire hydrant, become the man standing alone against overwhelming odds? Because before the UFC, before the leg kicks, before the belts, Volk was a wrecking ball in rugby league. 214 pounds, front row, 5'6". Nope, that's not a typo. Volk wasn't just undersized for the position. He was a complete anomaly. A prop forward with no business moving the way he did, but he did anyway. His game was pressure, forward motion, breaking bigger men with pace they couldn't match.
And Volkanovski.
My whole rugby league career, I played with most of the same people. So you build really good relationships.
Breaking.
Just the camaraderie.
And when he left the field for the cage, he transferred that chaos, that rugby frame, short, thick, deceptively fast, turned into the perfect nightmare inside the octagon. His center of gravity made him nearly impossible to take down. His gas tank, built from the hell of scrums and sprints. And the mindset? That was forged a long time ago. When you survive getting flattened by 250-pound trucks on a weekly basis, a few leg kicks and elbows don't rattle you that much. And here's the thing, his compact body might just be the cheat code that's keeping him standing, when every other man would have crumbled. Volkanovski showed up in the UFC in 2016, and the reception was lukewarm. At first, nobody really cared, just another Aussie. A fighter without much flash, but with fundamentals so sharp, they sliced through hype like paper. Then came Mendes.
Mendes, that 5-fight win streak, 4 of the wins by knockout.
Force advantage. Chad to the
He's showing a lot of toughness right now. Mendes, perfect timing on that takedown.
Former title challenger, explosive, dangerous, Volk didn't even blink. He dragged Mendes into deep waters and drowned him in pressure.
What a war.
Volkanovski with an incredible pace here, too. He's just putting a lot of pressure on Mendes. Ripping to the body, he drops him.
That's it.
The UFC fans started taking notice. Next came the king of Rio, Jose Aldo, a legend among the UFC, and Volk walked into enemy territory and outclassed him. So the question became obvious. If you just beat Mendes and Aldo back-to-back, what's next? And more importantly, who's gonna find his weakness? Max wasn't just the king, he was the people's king, a cardio machine, a volume striker with knockout power. He had the belt, he had the records, he had the aura. And then the short, stocky ex-rugby player with zero star power walks in. As soon as their fight started, he started chopping his legs to pieces. Volk's game plan was surgical. Kill the base, mute the volume, make the cardio god hesitate.
And new undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
And just like that, Volk was champ. But it didn't matter, because no one believed it. They said Max had an off night, that it was lucky. They said run it back. So Volk said, let's run it. Fight 2? Different story. Max shows up dialed in, drops Volk twice early. The people that were there went nuts. Commentary leans Holloway.
Oh, man, he's down again.
But by round 4, Volk had downloaded Holloway's style, and Volk started out striking Holloway. The fight goes the distance. Split decision, Volkanovski.
For the winner by split decision, and still the undisputed UFC.
People scream robbery. They begged for a third. But before we got the trilogy, Volk took a detour through hell.
Twice with 2 insane submissions. When he dove on that guillotine choke, I was like, that is, like, I wish people could see how beautiful that is the way I see it.
Yeah.
Because I know how hard that is to do. The way he slipped it in and got mounted. Ortega's got his legs crossed. So that kind of guillotine with a guy like that is death. It's death. And that crazy Australia got out, where 99.99% of the people who have ever lived would have tapped out.
Yeah.
Savage. It's like, not today. Rather die.
Ortega, UFC 266. That guillotine locked in tighter than a bank vault.
He might go to sleep. The grip is broken.
99% of fighters tap right there. Volk, being the stubborn bastard that he is, didn't. He somehow survived one of the tightest guillotines known to man, then got caught in a triangle, survived that too, and then he beat Ortega so bad the doctors nearly stopped it twice. Move on to Volk outclassing the Korean Zombie. What came next? He had to give the people what they wanted, a trilogy fight against Max. No questions, no judges needed. Volk put on a masterclass, and in that moment, all the doubts died. Because if you beat Holloway once, it might be a fluke. If you beat him twice, maybe you're lucky. But if you beat him 3 times, after surviving Ortega's choke from hell and shutting down the Korean Zombie, you are the king, and no one can take that from you. Well, within your kingdom at least. Enter Islam Makhachev, the heir to the Dagestani throne, built like Khabib, trained like Khabib, fighting with the same suffocating pressure that broke dozens before with an added striking package. Volk moved up a division, challenged the most dominant force at 155 just because he wanted to prove that he could.
There's usually a much higher pace from both these guys. They're really going to be key.
He walked right onto that knee, but I tell you what, Volkanovski took it well.
And for 5 rounds, we didn't see a size difference. We saw a mirror match. Volk outlanded Makhachev in total strikes, stuffed most of the takedowns, took the back, caused Makhachev the most damage he received in his career. But he lost the decision. But in the eyes of thousands, he won the war. And that night, Volk showed he might be the best fighter on earth. So what do you do after that? You go home, you recover, you wait. But Volk, after making quick work of Yair, he got a phone call. Short notice.
This damn phone rings. It's always Dana. We want you to headline this next main card. This will be him now.
Lightweight title again. No camp, no excuses. He said yes. And that decision, it led to the most brutal night of his career. 10 days. That's how long Volkanovski had to prepare for the most dangerous man at lightweight. 10 days. 10 days to drop almost 30 pounds. No full camp, no rhythm, no timing, just instinct and pride. And pride can be a cruel master, because on October 21st, 2023, in Abu Dhabi, Volk got knocked out for the first time in his UFC career. brutally. The unkillable King was out cold before the first round even ended. He broke.
I never thought I'd struggle with it, but I mean, like, for some reason, when I wasn't fighting or in camp, I just do my head in, you know what I mean? I needed a fight, and then this opportunity come up, and, you know, I'll be honest, I wasn't training as much as I should have, but I thought I had to, you know, I had to do it.
And here's where things get dark. When you're over 35 and get knocked out at lower weight classes, that chin doesn't come back. History says it's over. The invincible aura, shattered. The chin, questioned. The comeback, highly unlikely. And yet, just 4 months later, Volk walked into the cage again. No warm-up, no grace period, no mercy, just another undefeated killer in Ilia Topuria.
I'm gonna hold to the legs.
Right hand. Stunned him with the right hand. I mean, he was just mauling him on the feet.
Oh, that's nice.
And the scariest part, many knew how it was gonna end. This was death on live TV. The King was out cold. The doubts, now they were facts. He was too old. He did come back too soon. His kingdom was gone. And the question was no longer, can he still do it? It was, are we about to witness another Tony Ferguson type downfall? He wasn't supposed to come back. But kings like Volk, they don't ask for permission. They come back to collect. This time against Diego Lopez. Younger, taller, hitting like a freight train. He walked in, dragging 5 curses behind him. Drake had just dropped $500,000 on him again. And we all know what that means. The man's cursed more careers than pets. He was 36 years old and no featherweight champion over 35 had ever made it out alive. He wore custom shorts, and if history has anything to say about it, it was a guaranteed loss. He was also on the cover of the UFC video game, the unofficial death note for champions. And worst of all, he was coming off a short notice knockout. No fighter shakes that off. Once that chin cracks, it usually never comes back. Every single sign pointed to his downfall. But that war, that fight, it proved something. Adversity, he said, is a privilege. Not because it's easy, but because it gives you a chance to build something stronger out of what's left. From the first exchange, it was clear. This wasn't old man Volk.
What'd he say?
Said you're old.
Huh?
Said you're too old.
That prick. I'm gonna reply.
But it was the old Volk. Although he got dropped in the second round and was blind in one eye, Volk didn't panic. He knew better. Volk recalibrated and went surgical. What followed was a masterclass in calculated violence, tight counters, slick angles, pure control. He pieced up Diego Lopez with cold precision. And just like that, Volk would reclaim his throne. All the talk about being washed, buried. All the numbers, irrelevant. All the curses, broken. And besides being an absolute machine, he doesn't forget to be as respectful as he can be. They say, be wary of an old man in a profession where men die young. Volk is that warning made flesh. And the scariest part, we might be watching the start of another title run. A second dynasty.
Hey, adversity is a privilege. You hear people talk about that all the time. Izzy had a big moment here last time. Shout out to Izzy.
That is a beautiful statement, that adversity is a privilege.
If you build yourself back, it's only going to make you stronger, even if it doesn't work out. And look what can happen. Break records. Miami, I love ya!
Volk has already faced the worst this sport can throw at him, twice. And he came back. Not broken, not cautious, but sharper, meaner, smarter. So if you're coming for that belt now, understand this. Volk's not just simply defending it, he's reminding everyone why it was his in the first place. And the next man who steps up, yeah, they might want to think twice.